Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video tells you about a wonderful service I offer, which is the combination of an in-depth Vedic astrology plus Western astrology reading about you and your life, followed by a journey to the abyss. We each of us need to do our journey to the abyss over and over again through our life, to go deep into what is going wrong and to seek to get inspiration about how to come into our proper expression of ourselves and our proper power and rise from that inward journey transformed. So, guided by an online one-to-one astrology session, you then make your own personal journey down into the abyss. And this is so as to arise from your blocks or from difficult situations or karmas holding you back, to arise freed up, enlightened, healed, empowered, and connected to the divine light, and expressing your true self, which perhaps you never knew who that was. You weren't allowed to do it. So you share your astrological natal data with me beforehand, and the wonderful insight I offer is, as I said, from both your Western astrology and your Vedic astrology. Western astrology is about our emotionally based self and its unfoldment. Vedic astrology is about our karmic self, the karmas we incarnated to work with in this life, from karmas run up in previous lives, which have matured for us to deal with in this life. What blocks and failures do we need to do the work in relation to? That's the start part of your journey. But the aim of our journey to the abyss is that you come out into your power. You arise from your personal darkness. You connect to the divine light. You become the person you were meant to become in this life. In our online journey, our vision journey starts with you standing on the surface of the earth, fully embodied. Usually a typical journey to the abyss vision journey I do online on Zoom, but it's set on a mountaintop plateau near where I live, the plateau of the battlefield of Moitura, where the gods and goddess of the ancient Irish, the Tuatha De Danann, met the forces of darkness, the dark and evil Fomorians. Now, according to Irish Druid tradition, as set out in the medieval manuscript, in fact written near here at Ballymote, the Tuatha De Danann were led during the battle by the god Lu. Lu stood before a standing stone on the plateau just before the battle was going to start. And he demanded from each one of those who are going to fight on the side of the Tuatha De Danann, and what is the special skill that you bring to this battle that is to be fought to this day? And so, although each journey is personal, we often go through that and identify which of our special skills we perhaps never knew we had, we weren't allowed it, but now we're going to overcome the blocks, strip away the false skins that were laid on us, and express our special skill. So we each of us answer Lou's question as to what is our special skill that we need to manifest now. And then we descend into the abyss to meet the keeper of the abyss. We climb down the cliff at the edge of the plateau. And indeed, when we've climbed down the cliff face, we turn round and look outwards, and we see in front of us the river of the tears of humanity that we find at the foot of the plateau. So we have to wade the river. We don't know, how deep it is, how fast the current, but we have to go across. And then we find ourselves standing before the keeper of the abyss. For example, we could then seek to hand to the keeper all our wounds, darknesses, guilts and secrets that are weighing us down and obstructing our full connection to the divine, the self we actually incarnated to become in this lifetime. And as the journey progresses, we connect instead to our full potential for this lifetime. And standing before the keeper, we open our crown chakra wherein can pour the divine light. After our meeting with the keeper of the abyss, the journey takes us back up the cliff face, which we find no problem to climb this time. And we find ourselves on the plateau's surface again. Most wonderful place. There to experience the clearer opening of our crown chakra to the divine light as we stand in that illumination. There to experience you, me, standing in fuller expression of the potential we were each born to manifest in this lifetime. Freed from those negative karmas which were heaped on us when we were born. Freed from those past life influences which obstruct our expression and our fullness in this life. Some of those karmas were put in place, let's say, 4,000 years ago or something. It's wonderful to have a past life reading. So basically, we end up freed from the negative disempowerment that we started with in the journey. So you get the recording of the journey afterwards, as well as the recording of your wonderful astrology reading. And you are advised to repeat the journey using the recording at least 3 times following. The point is, we cannot avoid meeting the energy of our wounds and hurts in this life. We can't live with our buried realizations and trying to stuff down our secrets and guilts. These we have to hand to the keeper so that we can stand free. And he may, or she may, of course, lay conditions in our terms. We do need to face these, otherwise we never arise as our light. Astrology energies, which can typically point to doing a journey to the abyss, are a Pluto transit, an 8th house transit. These are typical times when this material arises. As is, of course, the Sade transit, the 7.5-year period when Saturn transits through the sign before our natal moon, the sign of our natal moon, and the sign after our natal moon, a huge death and rebirth time. The Saturn return is big, and so often a journey to the abyss benefits us then. A Uranus transit can really be helped opening us to revolution, defining our needed revolution. A Neptune transit can be a good indicator for needing a journey to the abyss, because Neptune transits offer us at their highest vision openings, and we need to finalize the definition of our perception of our visions and then manifest them and do the realization in our expression of self and our life. A Sedna, an asteroid Sedna experience can, be terrible millstone round our neck, going right back to when we were conceived, or at the time you get the reading and do the journey to the abyss. The midlife crisis is a typical time, sort of age 43-ish. A major transit through or to your second house of value issues, and arising from what your value issues are, your voice issues. That's a very good time to do a journey to the abyss. And so the list could go on. So what type of experience confronts us? Well, it demands that we face our issues rather than that we stuff them down inside us and lead half a life and false expression. We need to face the shadow and the unconscious material, because otherwise we won't be able to stand in our proper power. But once we have made our terms with our dark material in our journey, we can then arise lightened, freed. We can arise out of the depths, freed up and lightened to meet Kether, the fullness of the light coming into our crown chakra, our direct connection to the divine light. And the most important point is that we voice and face our fear. There's a need for each of us now to go through the 0 point, face the shadow, and emerge healed. This is the call to leave our 3D responses and patterns and way of expressing ourselves, to leave those behind and embrace our more enlightened, fuller consciousness. There's a need for each of us to end our negative karmas and embrace our positive karmas that our soul actually chose for us to learn to manifest in this life. Often this involves experiencing the darker karmas and the relevant past life experiences in depth. We need to face the fear, face the hurts, admit to the weaknesses. We need then to see the self that fear has created, our shadow self. And after that, we need to become strong in the face of it, because that's what offers us a chance for healing and growth. We need to walk through the shadow, passing the 0 point, to fully embodying our strong consciousness. We can then, each of us, do a repeating ritual to cement this in. Embodiment work is good. Embody the new you. Voice healing is good. Sound healing is good. If childhood-related trauma surfaces, one method of healing, it can be hypnotic healing of childhood traumas. Rise above the childhood state that is obsessing or dominating you or me. Shatter it. Past life journeys are crucial. So enroll now to make with me your own healing journey to go down into the abyss, to face the Lord of the abyss, and then rise lightened to meet Pluto, the divine energy of God and rebirth, and come into our wonderful potential in this life, free now to contact and embody our own divine light. So you can enroll for your journey by clicking the payment button on the Journey to the Abyss page on my Star Wheel Astrology website. It's under the More drop down. And when you've made your payment, please email me your natal data, setting it out in the way requested, and state your present location. And then include in your email to me any personal information you feel relevant to our work. I then prepare your detailed astrology charts using both Western and Vedic astrology, a special skill of mine. And I offer you a proposed date and time for our online reading and then the journey. And as I said, you get your personal recorded audio and video recordings afterwards. So I look forward to working with you on this often so surprising and so worthwhile journey to the abyss. All blessings to our work. Thank you.